Great.
All
Silence.
right. Why are you not
People are like,
taking
are
your
you
time
I'm
here,
waiting.
computer?
I
Are
figured
like,
if
are
I
you
just waited for Mental to start
playing?
playing the thing, then no one
Yeah.
would know. They would think it was loading,
Or,
and
well, maybe.
therefore it sounds more professional.
I
And you said, welcome to Everyone Racers.
don't know. A show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of limit champ or lucky track dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions, tips,
Tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy,
And Chrissy.
and I give you just the tip.
We're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less.
everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
And I'm Mental, and welcome to another Freightliner precursor episode, or I'm sorry, Sprinter precursor episode of our show.
That's not what my notes say.
I know, yeah. It is
Okay.
episode 307. And from 1982 until 1988, the 307 variant of the Mercedes T1 van used a 2.4 liter diesel, literally the same engine out of a 240 sedan, which you've ever driven one, is the slowest thing ever. It made 71 horses, but was still rated for a gross total weight of over 7,000 pounds. So all you hashtag van dweller types better recognize, oh, gee, obviously you won't be going anywhere quickly. Meanwhile, the rest of us can mock their slowness and check out our E1R bingo card, which of course
Sure.
we have a link to. Did you rewrite that? I feel like that is way too witty for me.
I touched it up just slightly.
Okay.
You did most of it. I just touched it up. And yeah, the 2.4 liter diesel in the 123 sedan was dangerously slow by modern standards. Yeah, like everywhere, foot to the floor. Doesn't matter. My mom had a couple of them. The manual transmission was slightly less dangerous. The automatic one was just always foot on the floor, no matter what.
I remember when we did the Babe Rally and I had the slowest car. And as we go to do Tail of the Dragon, I pulled out behind a 240D. I'm like, I could not have found the slower car than that minivan I had. And sure as heck I did, climbing the hill to the Tail of the Dragon coming out of the cafe. But enough of that reminiscing. My friends, aside from fighting with your cable company and your work computers,
Right?
what you
Thank
working on, Chrissy?
Oh gosh, why not go to Chris?
I don't know. I just felt like
I
mixing it up.
don't even know.
I'm a wild man. You can't control me.
We went to the Cape this
No way.
weekend, which was nice, and we try to do nothing. We always end up doing something. So we work there. Work is just a lot. Check it off in your bingo card. Even if it's not Jeff, just cross it off and says Chrissy, and Chris can be in there. But just work is too much these days. So yes, Chris, you have more things you've been working on that are more interesting than me.
I do. I've been actually working on some stuff. Working on post-race for the Mazda. Well, last week we told you what it needs. And so I've been working on that. Replace the left front control arm with one I had in stock. And the other one went back to Rock Auto today for warranty. And they've already shipped me a new one.
Yay.
Right?
Hashtag they should totally sponsor us.
Yeah, we abuse their warranties to no end. Thank you very much.
We also buy a lot of their other stuff.
Oh, yes, we do.
And not just
we don't feel bad about this warranty.
No, not at all. Like everyone on our Slack channel, it is Rock Auto part number. Yes.
Bad.
Oh yeah. The door of magnets that are unique. Actually, it's 2/3 full. My garage door of unique Rock Auto magnets. What else did I do with the Mazda? It was the control arm. I redid the alignment because we noted the alignment was off at Connecticut and had to redo it there. And you know why? That bushing was bad. So redid it again very thoroughly and got it in a good spot now. What else did I do? Replace the oil pressure sender because it was grounding out and giving us infinite oil pressure. That's fixed. The usual, clean it up, stuff. Nothing really else wrong with it. Now I took the exhaust up all down, all apart, and have that starting to put back together with the new ball joint union thing for a flexible spot that doesn't have any parts to fail. Like it's a steel pipe in a steel pipe. They're just different shapes. So the bell, everyone's talking, well, there's the flex pieces with the braided ones, and then there's the bellows. Well, the flex piece with the braids on it has the bellows inside, and that's what failed in the last one, is the bellows failed and melted the braiding. So I'm trying to get away from anything, that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping with the new coupling it'll work, but I have to remake the middle third of the exhaust from scratch. And so I'm working on that right now. I proceeded to bash myself in the face with said exhaust while getting it undone yesterday.
Oh, that's exciting. I didn't hear about that.
No, I had it all undone from the front, but it was still sitting up on the cross member. Oh, that's good. And I'm at the back trying to get the V-band clamp off, and you have to kind of pry something behind the V-band clamp to pop it off. And I did that, and it suddenly just released completely. I was expecting to have to do another spot of the V-band clamp, and it popped and came down, and then it slid forward off of the crossmember of the front, which allowed the whole thing to then fall on my face right here.
Oh, wow.
That felt great.
Super.
Yep. Tonight I washed the Corvette. I actually recharged the air conditioning, and I went and took pictures of it so I can put it for sale. Yes. Because I'll be home this weekend, which would be nice. Yes. Changed the oil in the caddy yesterday because it was at 16%.
Man, you are on it.
Right. And when we were at the Cape, I fixed my parents' car. There had been contact with it and something in the parking lot. I don't know who did what. Anyway, I had to pull a wheel molding off and the bumper back a little bit and bend some bracketry back in place, put it all back together. That looks good. And we had a pinhole leak in the water line that goes to the dock that was creating a very gentle misting fountain.
It was beautiful. I wish I knew about it when I was hot.
Right. So I had to cut the polypropylene pipe back and put a new piece in and take up part of the yard, but all done. So yeah, I've been doing lots of stuff. Mental.
Fantastic.
What have you been up to?
Well, what about Chrissy?
She went first.
I went first with
that. Oh, sorry. I tried to do nothing and worked. I'm sorry. Yes. So last week, as I talked about my Saturday plan, I flew out to San Francisco, met my friend Chuck, and borrowed. I am being loaned this beautiful 1995 911. It is 53,000 miles, original miles. It is just, it's everything you'd expect a great vintage Porsche to be. Drove it through Yosemite back to here in Las Vegas. Got home about...
Sounds like a lovely trip.
Oh, it really was. I was going to do through Tehachapi, which is Bakersfield over, but then it's just like hella boring desert. And then a guy from work said Yosemite, and there's a picture of there in Yosemite. Just what a great time. And then Monday, the local Red Rock Auto Club, we had our friend Chef, who is called that because he's an executive chef. So brought it up there. She made friends. It was his birthday.
It's you and your fancy friends. Like everyone's Porsches. Aren't you cool?
Well, no, there's a McLaren and actually two McLarens. Yes. And yeah. Yeah, that's
you so fancy.
It's a great Vegas car scene here, and I'm blessed to be a part of it. So yeah, I brought that up there. And also, because the 911 has a little bit more room than the Miata, we took it to Costco, and I got one of these. So there is a new, not beat up old laptop coming to the Everyone Racers podcast. This is a Mac Mini. So as soon as I
fantastic.
It's very little. I mean, yes, I know that's what mini means.
That's why it's a mini.
Still, I got
an actual desktop computer. All right.
Yes. And just in the continued cycle of, I drove the 911 and it was, raining on and off all the way the whole trip. So I got here, it was filthy. I washed it. My wife made me feel guilty. So I also washed the Miata. So that's been cleaned up and cleaned out enough of my garage to put the Porsche in the garage.
Oh,
that's right.
Get out of town.
That's right. And you can still walk around my garage. You can get to everything in my garage.
It helps that the Porsche is fairly small.
It's itty bitty.
And that it's someone else's and it's nice and you're borrowing it. So you're trying to be nice to it.
Yes.
Yep.
But I tucked that in there last night. So today I took the Miata to work. And there's a lot of great adjectives that don't do that comparison justice because they're all played out. But I was just struck coming out of the 911, which is just straight up the most amazing thing, that at how good the Miata is. Long distance road trips, hands
Brilliant
down,
car.
take the German car, always take the German car. It's so much more
True.
fun. They just gobble up miles, and the Miata is competent on the freeway, but it's not fun. But in the city, and it is just such a completely different car. But even coming out of the 911, I'm man, this is just a great transmission. What a tight little, and I absolutely just enjoyed it. And it was 109 today, so I was actually happy for the much more competent air conditioner. The Porsche is only good when you're moving. It sucks.
Air-cooled
Oh,
Porsches have
yeah.
never been known for the quality of their air conditioning.
And that one
No.
works in 911 scale. It's fantastic, but in modern car, no, kind of a deal. So it's kind of doing that. Anyway, so that's what I've been working on. I am my dad doesn't listen to this anymore. I'm sneaking away tomorrow. It's my dad's birthday this weekend, so I'm going to surprise
Lovely.
him tomorrow and
Fun.
hang out and do that.
Man, you don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
I guess.
You're one to talk, honey.
This weekend I am, and I'm actually
Right.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're actually
great.
not going somewhere this weekend for the first time, like
I'm very excited.
all summer.
We kind of
So-
like said, I was like, but maybe a nice beach weekend, go to the beach one. No. Mm-mm.
It will be, but we're still not.
I know.
We've been neglecting so many things at home.
Mhm.
Need to be here. Oh well,
Yes.
such is life.
Such is life. You know what is a good part of life?
News and
What's that?
There
You
it is.
bet. The most expensive race to attend on the F1 calendar is also proving to be the most expensive to put on.
No way.
Adam Cooper at motorsport.com breaks
I
down the
knew
big chunks of the
that.
cost. Yeah, who knew Vegas was going to
I
cost you
had
more than
no
expected?
idea.
No one that ever went to Vegas thought, wow, I spent more than I thought I would. Yeah, anyway. Yep.
And my heart is so not broken. Sorry.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't even care. If you're taking this, take offense to this, you are wrong.
Yeah, he knows.
I
So
know.
the cost, the first overrun of the cost was the land and a permanent pit and paddock infrastructure under a
Yep.
compressed timeline. Second cost was a repave currently underway of the Las Vegas Strip and surrounding area for the course. And finally, what Liberty Media, F1's apparently a company, called, we have also invested in security enhancements and expenses incurred to ensure the quality of the fan experience with infrastructure changes to improve sightlines. Or, as Mental describes it, blocking the view for venues that don't pay up.
Mm-hmm.
Despite these expenses and stagnant ticket sales, Liberty CEO Greg Maffei said, "We remain confident in the return profile of this incredible project, which will support the incremental capital investment we are making."
I'm sorry.
That is
At what
that
point-
is like literally he just went into AI and said, "Give me marketing words for Bill."
Uh-huh. At what point do we think the
Oh.
cost of a ticket is going to bottom out? I don't think it's there yet.
No, I discounting like literally the last minute kind of a week sort of a deal. The people that are buying the super high dollar tickets have already done it. And the people that are not buying those stand tickets, and there's still a lot of available tickets. I've talked to some of them, but the prevailing opinion is I am not paying $2,500 for that.
Mm-mm.
And so
Yeah.
I would
Mm-mm.
think, once those sales remain stagnant, you're going to start seeing the Walmart rollback. And I don't think they're going to advertise it like obnoxiously.
You're gonna have to
Because-
refresh.
Well, because the people that already paid $25 will get really pissed off. I just think if you start looking over the next 2 or 3 months, you'll start seeing, one-time offer, we can get you this deal for just $1,500.
Yeah, just wait till you push end, and then you're like, $700 ticket fee. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you, fucking Ticketmaster. Ugh.
Yeah, right.
Mhm. I think
Yeah.
Ticketmaster has passed you insert cable company utility here for most hated company in America. that
Well,
you have
absolutely.
to deal with.
we're cursing ours, and ours is local
Yeah.
small company that has 8 people sitting out front of our box to try to
That's
figure
yeah.
out why.
But we're on the side of
Dylan.
right because Taylor Swift also hates Ticketmaster. So
Sure. No, I buy that all day. She likes it. We like it. Anyway, the cheapest car in America is soon to be no more. Stephen Cole Smith at Haggerty tells us that the Japanese automaker will halt U.S. sales of the Mirage. I know you guys are so upset about this. Available as a 4-door hatchback and a sedan by mid-decade, and exit the sedan market altogether. The Mirage became the modern Yugo, a used car alternative for people who desperately wanted a new car, said Sam Fiorini, Vice President of Auto Forecast Solutions. Mitsubishi offered no comment, but their removal of the $17,340 leaves Mitsubishi showrooms with only 3 variants of the Outlander and the Eclipse Cross.
They were very good at we'll get you approved. That's basically the only reason Mirages were sold.
And
you don't even pay attention. We'll still get you approved.
Yeah, and you didn't even know, the Kia dealership was too far to walk to, or
right. Oh, you don't make enough to get an Altima, just because that's the other. I think that's the car that everyone drives. We'll get you approved in your Altima.
If I see a Mitsubishi Mirage, I just kind of go, oh, wow. Either they're like, like an alternative, deliberately thrifty kind of person. If I see an Altima, I'm like, they're not anywhere where they can hit me. Are they? Just, that's, driving the 911. I am on constant Altima watch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I saw somewhere there's an Altima bingo you can have. has a donut spare on, has unpainted replacement bumpers, temporary tag that's expired.
Yes. There's a great Reddit thread
highway
called,
time trial.
Yeah. There's a great Reddit thread called Big Altima Energy. And it's every cliche Altima, and it's like there's no shortage.
Yeah.
All right.
It has them all. Anyway.
Finally, the rise of electric vehicles is now settled into third-order consequences. Patrick George over at the Autopian has the details about the United Auto Workers' latest strike vote. Now, that doesn't mean they're going on strike, but the members will affirm to leadership that they are willing to do so depending on negotiation outcomes. What does the UAW want? Well, they say their pay has not risen with inflation, that they are losing jobs to China and Mexico, and they want a repeal of the current 2-tier wage system. And finally, they want assurances that they're still going to have jobs in an EV-centric future that needs fewer parts and less labor. Now, the auto industry is posting record profits amidst record prices, which is usually when the UAW starts to negotiate. But execs believe that electric mobility future will have huge impacts across the entire industry, but a strike could come as soon as next month.
Yep.
I thought that would be more interesting. All right.
I mean, okay.
Okay. What are you going to do about it? No.
Fair enough. Yep. All right. A number of years ago, 2015, Lemons racers down in Alabama may remember the infamous Dokken Charger, and I have a link to that wrap-up video where they can talk about it. Now, the short version
that was a Daytona.
I'm sorry, yes, but the short version of it is this: Dodge and MTV had that knockoff version of the Long Beach Celebrity Grand Prix where all the drivers had identical Dodge Daytonas. A Lemons team. No, not the really cool ones who showed up in the red pickup truck who did the Phil's porno novel theme. Those guys were awesome. This was the team with Don Dokken's Charger. And for those of you that are right now saying, who the hell is Don Dokken? I look at you and say, shut the hell up. Now, the point of this is you can have another celebrity driven 80s era race car. All right. I'm trying to make this work. Come on.
Make it work.
Separate the picture from that. Now, over on Racing Junk, man, I am upgrading this computer none too soon. Okay.
Yep. Computer knows.
And it is also a Dodge to boot. Now, over at Racing Junk in Colorado Springs is another.
Do you want me to do this?
Celebrity Dodge knocking. This part I think I can figure out. I will. I hope. I may still come back to you for this one.
Yeah, I can read it while you're pulling that up if you want.
You keep reading that. Yes.
Okay. So, this one, I'm trying to figure out where you left. Anyway, whatever. There's another one. It's on Racing Junk. It's
No. The name is important. You need to know who drove this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Point
yes.
is,
You
can
may
have
remember him from the long-running show Silver Spoons, his short run on NYPD Blue, or most recently his manic and ridiculous online meltdowns during the pandemic and funding of Kylie Rittenhouse's bail. It's Rick Schroder. It's a Hardee's theme on this. It's very, very period correct. Love the car. For $6,500, you can give the Rad Machine a chance to redeem itself with Champ Lemon's Lucky, whatever. You get an 88 or 89 Dodge that was specially prepped by Chrysler for the challenge, and nothing says racy like Chrysler race car. Has a 2.2 turbo, a cage, the works. It's probably going to need some updating. Has a logbook. Looks like it's in decent shape. There's 10 pictures. It's pre-themed. Like, do not touch that. You'd be in good shape. Any judge will definitely love it. Yeah. I mean, it's a Dodge Daytona from the Celebrity Series. Like, duh. That's a great choice.
Yes. Yeah.
Duh.
It's only $6,500. That is just fantastic.
I think Chris Egan is still giving away like anything turbo Dodge he has, which is a lot. So
I feel like Chris Egan would make this a priority. He's like, you have Rick Schroder? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whoever can take that stuff from Chris Egan, I'm sure he will be thrilled to give it to you.
Yes. Okay.
Ready?
And,
Upcoming races.
And I'm
great.
gonna
And here's a great place that you can use your turbo Dodge. No, maybe not this one. Champ Car at Gingerman for their cookie cutter classic. Yeah, give it a try. It'll be much more interesting than the 33 cars they have entered, 8 of which are BMWs and therefore boring. 5 Miatas, 1 Honda, no Porsches. But Battle Scarred is there, as well as Daring Greatly in their Caddy. Metal says grab dinner at 3 Blondes. You won't regret it. And you're going to have lots of room there. So likely no contact because 33 cars.
The upside is also
Gingerman
has a smallish paddock, so you'll actually have plenty of paddock space, which is nice.
You can man spread all you want around the paddock.
It's about the only positive you got.
Yeah.
Well, and racing at Gingerman. I like racing at Gingerman. It's a good track.
Okay, great. Lemons Rally Rust Belt Ramble departs Detroit this weekend in a roundabout drive to Ohio. Rally Master Jeff, despite his busy schedule this weekend at Audubon, got us the rather substantial entry list. Team Punch Raff in their Mazda pickup bus thing, an 80s pickup Aero truck, an 82 Rampage, Cheesebolt Enterprises in one of 3 Mercedes diesels, including a crew from Rust Belt Racing.
And the Plymouth Arrow is Santiago.
Great.
Nice.
An 86 Omni GLHT Scrappy R Fuji's in a 84 Eagle Summit wagon, 92 Corsica, and a 90 Beretta, a 72 Valiant, a 70 Dart, a 79 D100, a Delta Tau Chi, which is an Animal House joke on a 77 Ford Granada, along with a 77 Corvette, 72 Olds Tornado. But wait, there's also a 76 Chevy Laguna, a 63 Mercury Monterey, and a 69 Chrysler Newport. I don't know what half of these are.
The Newport is so substantial.
Google
it was banned by demolition derbies.
Wow.
Yes.
Yep.
These are some wonderful cars.
This is
it's like 40 cars in total, all of them. Yes.
Wow. Like more than Champ at Gingerman. Who knew? Wow. That's a fun list. All right. Racing result time.
All right. Lemons was at Autobahn. Now your overall winner, Class A, was Rod Throwing Fools in that 82 Toyota MR2. It's a good team. That car's it's bone.
I think it's won overall before.
It is one several times. Ago, it's a stock, the little tiny 1.8 engine that they put in there, and
pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's a V6. Last time I saw it, it was a V6.
Are they upgraded? Okay,
I think so.
They run clean. Everyone likes them. They help other teams in the paddock. That's yeah. They in fact they won last time I was at Autobahn. But they
still have their rod toss game. They have a game you play in their paddock. They just have a block and a bunch of connecting rods, and you have to toss the rods at the block and get them in the hole.
Committed to their theme.
And
Yeah,
they've got
that's-
the on the side of it, on the intake, they've got an airflow meter connected to a needle that says potential for rod throwage. And the faster that the car is going, the more the needle moves. That's pretty funny. Class B was Team Sucker Punch and an 84 Chevy Corvette. There's a theme going here. All right. God's chosen class was Junkyard Monkey in a 2000 Toyota Corolla. And organizer's choice was Bentley Racing in a 98 DeVille.
If anybody wants an 84 Corvette to dominate, mine's about to go up for sale. eBay Heroic Fix was Anonymous 2 in a 94 Civic. Anybody know what they did? Mental? Do you know?
No clue.
No.
Sorry. Yeah.
Nope,
Okay.
nope.
Judge's choice, Apollo 13 B team at a Saturn SC2. Yokohama Road Mangler Cup Oops Logistics in a 95 Mercedes C280. Here for the beer racing, Sofa King Racing in their 90 Miata. And when you can't find a Civic windshield trophy, why can't you find a Civic windshield trophy? That's got to be the local trophy, Landshark in their 99 Honda Civic. Because even a 99 Civic, like we think, oh, that's pretty new. It's an EK, right? It's 24 years old.
They've had that thing for so long. And I think that front windshield is a lot of tape.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Screwed. It went to White Trash Racing's Red-Headed Bastards in a 2000 Ford Chrysler.
There is a story behind that in the listener feedback.
Okay. IOE was Mike K and the crew from Bad Decisions Racing and their other flathead power pony.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. I really.
Dango. Okay. Dango Camaro.
Pony
Sorry.
car,
It's not
Dang old Camaro. Yes.
That was not
It's
a word that
Camaro.
I
And it's spelled
should
correctly
say.
with the E, which is
I
important.
got it. Okay,
Which is actually how it's
oh.
on the results page.
Got it.
Because Mike knows what time it is.
Yeah.
And Halloween Meets Gasoline went to Pat O'Pamelian's in a 01 Buick LeSabre from Ohio.
Patapolemons instead of like
Patapolemons.
Lollapalooza, Patapolemons. They were at that team was at Pit Race. Was it this year or the year before? It was some guy's bachelor party. It was a birthday party. They always get together for this guy's party.
That's right.
And
It's
they had that
It's
Buick
Pat's
LeSabre.
birthday, Patapalooza. That's
Got it.
fantastic.
I forgot about them. They had pictures of themselves all over the car, and they gave away all kinds of lemon shirts and things.
They gave
Yeah,
zero
I forgot.
F's about how well they were
Yeah,
racing.
they did
were just there
not.
for the
They
fun.
were there for the party. They were not there
Yeah.
for the race. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Listener favorite time.
On the tube, our Corvair episode with Pat Carity and his super dope Corvair elicited a lot of response.
Oh,
A
gosh.
user who I am not going to try and pronounce, it feels like they just made it up to make this comment.
The
said,
cat
quote,
walked across the keyboard.
yeah, exactly. Here's to the next Marine Corps marathon that you run, Pat. Very entertaining and impressive. You're not wrong.
At Pylon 199. Awesome interview, Pat. Thanks for letting me drive your creation. Huge fun.
Michael K said, for Audubon, the flathead to head battle, decades in the making of SN95 Mustang and 4th Gen Camaro swapped with Chrysler flatheads, went as expected, with the superior car victorious, as you heard in the race results. But hey, anytime you can get two modern muscle cars running Chrysler flatheads, that's real racing, folks.
That's a world I want to live in.
Yep.
Andrew Steer said, okay, I will listen in the morning since the title leaves me triggered, which was finish your project. Me too, man. I get it.
Right. On the gram, Mike White, another GRM challenge OG, said Angry P is the thrillest MF on the planet.
And coming from Mikey, then that's quite a compliment.
Right.
Yeah. You know who else is the thrillest MFer on the planet?
Sure. Oh, that's funny.
She makes the thrillest MF cookies on the planet.
Sure, that's legit.
That's
Yes.
fact. I don't think you would
Legit.
find anyone that would refute that.
It's
Nope.
true. Hi, Mom.
And I worry that one of you is going to have to explain to what a trillist MF means. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not
Yeah.
there.
Doesn't
It's
really
just-
matter.
It's a compliment.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Totes. Okay.
That's
We're
right.
talking about Thompson. Mental, why don't you introduce it? Because Chrissy and I are going to do all the rest of the talking for the most part. So you do this part. How about
Just
that?
a little.
We're trying to shake it up a little bit. So it's not right after the Thompson weekend. We wanted to get Angry P on as soon as possible to get you motivated to do things like clean out your garage for a vintage Porsche. Point being, We are here now to talk about the Thompson Hangover. I love Thompson. I love the track. If you are a traveling racer and you rent seats around there, or you and your crazy friends haul stuff up there, put Thompson on your list. It is this unique combination of a connection of tracks that were never meant to be a road course, and it just works. And you can go back and watch our track walk on that. I'll try to put it right there. It's set next to a golf course. It is always hot as blazes out there, but it's a lovely facility run by great people, and it is so New England. And then, of course, there's an ice cream stand right across the track. So go there, check out Thompson. But my co-hosts were there. They were throwing down. They were having a good time. They were melting exhaust, and they're going to talk about their experiences. But overall, Three Pedal Mafia had an outstanding weekend.
Yeah, I mean, let's go through some of these winners. I'll go through the class winners and the IOE here, and you guys pick it up. So overall winner made it a sweep of all the New England tracks. It was Towelie. Once again, it was Bruce back in the car for the first time in basically 2 years, and he picked right back up where he left off. Did a great job.
He finished.
He did.
He struggled. He was struggling with being back in the car in race format. So there's that.
Yep, but he did a great job and finished up for that win and drove it across the checker with the win. It was great. Then also Greg and Paul and Amanda were the other drivers in the car. They had ran a clean race. We had a perfect pit stop at one point that I helped them with. It was amazing. Great race for them. Class B in, I think, 14th or 17th overall, which is a pretty far down for the Class B winner to be in the overall standings, because everyone else was dropping like flies, including us, was the former Ultimate Warrior. Now it's Big Ultimate Warrior Energy, because they crashed the old car and came back with a new Ultima. No shortage of crappy Ultimas around to use, so that's good. They were clean and kept running all weekend that I saw. Class C was the 77 Ford Pinto of Stupid Myth Racing. This is the orange one. And it also just kept running. And those guys know how to run a Pinto.
That's a gorgeous looking Pinto as well.
It is. Yeah, these people are Pinto enthusiasts. Let's put it that way. IOE went to the Dead Horse Beaters. This is the 67 Mustang that has the Honda Odyssey minivan engine mounted behind the drivers. They have been working on this thing for years, trying to get it to work kind of okay. And they got it to that point. It was kind of okay. It kept going around. It's a terrible idea. Why you win Classic, but good for them. They got it going. IOE.
There's a phrase that I picked up from Florida Man Donnie that I enjoy, and it is, "I am stupider than this problem is hard." And that seems to be very apropos in this one. They're just gonna stick with this idea until it works.
Yep.
Okay, Org Choice went to Jersey Slide in their 2000 Honda Accord. Heroic Fix went to Farrell Shelby's in their 92 Farrell Cobriata.
It's that Miata with the Cobra kit on it, and I think it's got a V8 in it, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it's a 302.
Oh yeah.
Ricky's car, and who builds a lot of engines in the Northeast. So
but
when your
blasted
engine builder,
their engine, so we made fun of them because
when your engine builder blows the engine in his car again, but he and also put it back together to make sure a couple people who hadn't driven yet got to drive that. So they did a great job with that.
That's fantastic.
A lot of work. Judge's Choice went to Team Hesh in their 82 Ford Escort,
which they rethemed from the original paint job, because that thing was original forever, and they made it a taxi cab. If you don't follow Hesh on Instagram, you're missing out on some great stuff.
They they're getting it together. They are not totally a rolling roadblock anymore. They're doing a nice job.
Right.
They've also found an 84 Econoline van that they are restoring. It's gloriously
not for
brown.
Racing.
No.
That's awesome. The Road Mangler Cup went to Toyota in their 2002 MR2.
All right. You guys will have to help me for this one. Now, I did see the Doing It for Dale went to Cannibal Cafe Racing in a 91 CRX, because they let Dale drive.
They did. Apparently Dale hadn't been in a race car
in
a long time.
in
And they let him in.
30 years, over
Yeah.
30
That's
years.
fantastic. He was raving
Dale
about it.
then-
And then someone punted
Well,
Dale.
No, Dale then probably proceeded to get a black flag for passing under yellow.
Because, well, hold on. I talked to Dale. So he was on the line as people were taking the checker. So, a couple minutes he was walking the line and nobody's pitting or anything. Or out at fuel pit. And so I said, "How was the race car? How did it go?" And I didn't realize it'd been 30 years since he'd been in a race car. And he said, and I'm sorry if you guys are listeners, he said the mirrors were terrible. And so he was like, "I'm used to like being able to see out mirrors. I couldn't see anything." So he said the pass under yellow was stupid. Somebody punched him, but he was like, "I just couldn't see." So not really sure. I don't know if that it was his fault, but he also said that he wasn't racing well because he just didn't feel very comfortable because he couldn't see. So mirrors are
when he
everything.
came in, though, we made sure to grab the dildo and shame him by smacking the car with the dildo because he has to get the full experience.
I just feel bad for the person that came in after making contact with Dale. Make a list of all the cars on all the tracks, on all of the lemon circuits, in order of which will get you most hated if you punt one of them and you found the top.
Yep.
Because everyone loves Dale. And okay, so I got screwed. Now we've talked about this team before without actually naming names, but I feel like their attitude is really shifting, and I like some of the stuff that they're doing. I don't know if they're still on the track on there, but I got screwed was the world famous team Flood Stank, because they usually have that girl roller skating around, and
they didn't have any of that this weekend. They had, depends on who you talk to. Some of their team have a great attitude, some of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they were
always
in
have
the
good
lead.
scotch.
Yeah, they do. They were in the lead when their exhaust fell apart, and so then Towelie took the lead, and right after Towelie took the lead, Bruce walks over there with some exhaust parts and says, "Hey, you need a hand?" So
that's classy.
Yep.
Nice.
They got it together and went back out. Yep.
All right. Excellent. Because they for the longest time, their solution to every time they don't win was to add more horsepower rather than drive cleaner. And finally, Halloween Meets Gasoline went to the Knighted Angels and a 91 Miata. There's got to be, you guys were there. There's got to be a great story.
Oh, they did a proper Monty Python Holy Grail theme where every time they came through the paddock, and they were parked way out in no man's land by the swamp. And every time they walked all the way from there, they all were in costume with the coconut shells behind the guy with the flag and do all the things. And they had the music that they committed every time they were there to that better than anybody else. They had a guy with, the rabbit with the bloody face. And, anyway, they did a good job.
That's excellent. That's what it takes to win Halloween Meets Gasoline. Pick a
there
theme
also weren't
and lean.
There weren't many people.
There weren't a whole lot of real real
actual people that did. No.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's your overall. That's how it all shook out. That was 2 weeks ago because we've given you double results. But we're going to talk about the overall experience of the race. I was watching jealously from here in very, very warm Las Vegas on the Slack channel. You guys got in Thursday. Everyone mostly got set
we were
up
all there Thursday night by 10
Thursday night.
for the most part.
And you guys had some replacement drivers. So you had Dean.
We had Dean running the Mazda.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's it. There's Chrissy and Dean and I. And the Cressida was Dave and Steve.
And you.
Then I took a shift on Saturday afternoon because they were tired and our car was broken. And I said, all right, guys, do you want someone else to take a shift? I said, yes, please. So I closed up the Cressida.
I did see, I saw the video of that one on there.
Yeah. So we had a great team all around. Dean was wonderful to have. He drove the wheels off the car. He did very fast.
No, he did not. He was great. He was a great driver. He did not. He was very hesitant because he crashed a car that wasn't his in a recent race. So he was very hesitant to drive very fast to make sure that he didn't do anything stupid. He was very conscientious and very concerned about that. So
he was very clean, very consistent.
Yes.
He had that car in P2 for quite a long time on Saturday morning.
You guys were actually overall for a brief period as well. If I'm
a little bit, and then P2 behind Towelie for a while, and that held it for quite a while. We'll talk more. That's Saturday, but Dean, phenomenal job with, with everything.
I don't
he
want to
did.
say drive the wheels
Great.
off. He drove fast, but he
Clean,
was
consistent,
also
safe.
He was not over driving. He did not
Yep.
overdrive, and that's what was
And
great.
helpful. Always helped make sure everything was done in the car. Nice guy.
Air hearts
Great.
to Dean.
Would hardly recommend Dean as an arrive and drive.
Yes. So to that end, I didn't realize this was you guys' theme, but in true Three Pedal Mafia fashion, you managed to come up with something topical.
Yes, our theme was the sad racer actors on and theme actors and theme writers on strike, which so we had just some cardboard signs and we're on strike and yelled at the scabs with their themes. And when Jay saw ours, he looked at us and shook his head and said, I like it and I hate it at the same time. Which I think that's about right. That's good.
That's high praise.
It's on topic. It makes sense. No one else had done it, but we didn't yet do anything else. So it's a little bit of both. But that was fun.
We promptly used all of our signs as things to lean on when we were doing stuff under the car. So
Oh yeah, totally.
we didn't
Yep.
we didn't lean in. We did it and we walked through and we were like, good enough. Bye.
Yep. So Friday, let's go day by day. Friday, we started off testing day. It was supposed to be a kind of crappy rainy day, especially in the afternoon. So we got right out. I wanted to heat cycle. We tried this weekend the new Continental Extreme Contact Force tires on the Mazda. So we wanted to get some tire temperatures, after getting the car warmed up. Came in, did the tire temperatures a bit, adjusted the camber slightly, and adjusted the pressure slightly. We put a little more pressure than we were expecting because the tires were rolling over a little bit further than we were expecting on the edges. But Mazda was running great. Everything felt wonderful. So and I threw down a baseline lap for our telemetry system to use for everyone else to see, which was a all fourth gear, but driving pretty quickly lap as a good reference point for us. It's not a really hot lap, but it's a quick enough lap. Then Chrissy, then you got then we switched tires to the hand cooks, the older hand cooks that we had around. And Chrissy, you got in the car Friday for a while.
I did. And we say that we don't do an absolute hot lap on the telemetry because we get frustrated when Chris throws down a super hot lap and then we just end up seeing red the whole time because our telemetry is like, yeah, not good enough. Yeah, still not good enough. Yep, still not good enough. Oh, you're close. Oh, nope, not good enough. So so we've learned that because that's just demeaning. And it's not just me, it's other people. So
you don't just reset it. I'll just give up and reset it because I want to see how I'm doing.
Well, I just put a reference lap in of good enough. And like,
I would, yeah,
like my fastest is
like
a 128.
Like a target,
I put in
right?
I put in a 132, and
that was fine.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize what the number was, so I was beating myself up and I was pretty close, so it's fine. I got in and it was okay. I was also trying to half work throughout the day because I was trying to take a whole work day. So I was kind of in and out of the trailer, working a little bit. But yeah, I think my stint was fine. I was out for a little while, good 45, maybe longer, just trying to make sure I'm ready for the day. Pretty much nothing happened. I think it was all good.
Yeah. Then Dean went out for a while, probably a half hour before lunch, which is good. Came back in. We decided to check a few things in the car, and we noticed the alignment was a little off. And based on our tire temperatures, we thought something was off on the toe in the front. And sure enough, toe was out. So we got our hub stands on, aligned it, put it back on the ground, realized I had one of the calibrations wrong on one of the hub stands. So put it back up in the air, fix the alignment again, put it back down. And then Dean took it out at the end of the day for a little bit, and Steve took it out for a couple of minutes because he's never driven that car. So and that was it. Car was fine. Got it up in the air, made sure nothing was wrong, put the Continentals back on for the next day. Car was ready to go. And then we did a track bike.
We did
instead of a track walk.
We found some broken at half-ass bikes and decided to go that way.
Bobbin's bike was fine. I didn't mind Bobbin's bike that I was riding.
I'm sorry. I picked up Amanda's bike that she found in the trash can. It stuck some stickers on it, and it was miserable. It wouldn't. I had to walk at half 1/8 of it. I had to walk it because it was not actually.
It's also set up for someone who's 5'4" and you're 5'8", so
a little bit.
Help.
But it was also just, and then it wouldn't actually let me pedal. So I was like, so it kind of. I didn't quite break it, but it was still kind of miserable. And then the Friday night party was pretty dismal. It was
lame.
It was small. There wasn't even people awake. All of the garages were closed. And it wasn't even that late, but we were like, no one was out. And I'll just say it right here. I said Friday potluck. Friday, we're doing a potluck. And then some people that make decisions higher than me said, you're not going to do the potluck on Friday. You're going to do it on Saturday. And I was like, yes, I am. So we had to move it a little bit. That's a little change on me, and people gave me crap and try to figure out why I was making this change. And they thought maybe I was trying to manipulate them by getting them drunk so they were going to fail on Sunday. And I was like, you were thinking this way too hard. I was like, somebody else just told me
Don't
to change
start
the day.
racing until noon on Sunday. That's
I
the joy of
know.
Thompson.
Plenty of time
You
to
can get
sober up.
hammered. Yeah.
Dude, I know, but people were whatever. It's fine. Anyway, so that was Friday. So pretty quiet day. I mean, we did our normal running around, but
Yeah,
nothing
was nice and
too
easy, actually.
interesting. No rain at all, I don't think.
No.
Nope.
And the temperature this year was lovely. It was in kind of the mid to low 80s every day.
Yeah, it was, a little humid. It was a little
very
sticky,
nice.
but it wasn't the 97 we've had and the major storms that we've had before. So yeah, highly recommend.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Saturday.
So
Saturday, we start
morning,
the race.
you're ready to dominate.
Chrissy,
Yes.
no, Dean starts us off.
Dean starts. Yep.
And like we said a little bit earlier, Dean did a phenomenal job. We got a good starting position. Like we were, within the top first 10 cars after they threw the green, which is very nice. And Dean just did a wonderful job. Kept the car fast, clean, safe passes, doing well, 0 flags. The track was doing full course yellows for any car they had to pull off. So that helped us with our fuel time. So we were on the cusp of, do we do 5 shifts or 4 shifts? It depends on how our fuel burn was going to be. And Dean was able to get 2.5 hours out there, which is where we needed to be to do 4 shifts. So
nice work.
Just
being consistent for
consistent, quick, and the car's doing well on its fuel economy these days. So that helps. And it's 2.5. Did a great job. Was up as high. I think when he came in, he had been in second for a long time. By the time he came in after 2.5 hours in a B-class car that was 5 seconds off Towelie for a best lap, or maybe 4 seconds at that point, 5th overall, leading B.
I brought it in
great.
5th overall.
Oh, you're right. He brought it in first.
He was in. I think it was second.
He was second overall when he
was
came
second
in,
overall.
Second overall.
I brought it in
first
5th
and B.
overall.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then Chrissy went out. So yeah,
Right.
Dean walking out of that car, I went second overall. And for quite a long time, our 3 of our cars were in the top 7.
I got
I took a
screen
picture
capture
of it.
early on.
Yeah, I think I did too.
In first from one of our Instagram listeners.
Yep. I said, take a picture. I actually said, are you for real? So then I got in. And then I promptly got called in.
Whoa.
You can't see Mental's face right now.
Mental almost snarfed his drink there.
Chris, what? I can say the words Chrissy got a black flag, but none of those words belong to each other.
I agree. And they don't, but they did at Thompson. So I go around the track, and by the time I make it around to turn 9, I think that's what it is, where the black flag station is, they said my car. And I was like, I got a black flag. And I'm like, it must be Dean. What did Dean do? And I pull in, and they were like, so there's a blend line that you went over. And I was like, are you kidding? Yes, I know. So rewind my brain, and I was like, I remember going towards the track. I have told y'all there's a blend line. Hey, remember the blend line? Don't go over the blend line. I went over the blend line. So I knew there's a blend line, but when you turn your rear view mirror and then you're just like, oh, there's no one around. This is great. Like I'm clear to get on track. And I just did that. There was nobody on track. Like everybody's on the other side of the track. There's nobody on the front straight. Maybe far, far away. But I was like, I have a clear track to get safely into the track with nobody around. And I was like, so rewind, fast forward. Yep. I definitely did that. So
Chrissy was fangs out. I've never seen this. This is awesome.
well, when you come in second and that you know that you have pressure to make this happen and I have clear track, I neglected to remember my own words to remember the blend line. Okay, anyway, so I got a black flag. Yep, that's happened. It was, I think, our only one of the weekend. So I got back on track and I said, okay, just cool it. Forget about it all. Got back on track safely. Every time I went back in, I made sure that I had the blend line. All good. Will not do that again.
Watch your pit speed too.
Well, when I get a black flag, I get upset. See, I'm a driver too. When I am a judge and I say, why are you speeding in the pits? I'm there. I get it. I'm there. Okay, anyway.
Doesn't mean it's right.
Oh no, it's wrong. I'm just saying that I was there. Admitted. It's the first black flag. I honestly think this is the first black flag since the one that I spun when you mental told me not to brake in 2-3 at New Hampshire.
A couple years ago.
10 years ago, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
You've had one since then, but
I've told you not to brake lots of
something
times.
else. Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
I
been
don't
a
get
while,
black
though.
flags, and I don't,
Wow.
and I pride myself on not getting black flags. And
I just, you know, I feel so human right now because not only did you get a black flag for making a straight up red mist real racer mistake, which totally guilty of. Then you were just so annoyed about it that you sped in the pits, and you're like yell at people. You're one of the racers that'll just randomly yell at anybody on an electric scooter for breaking the pit speed limit.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
That's
I'm there.
wow.
Okay. Anyway, I go out, start to be real racer, start to, we
Climb
don't
back
so
up the standings.
climb up the standings. Great. Till I have telemetry, trying to do my best. Don't have cool shirts. So we have a problem with our cool shirt system. I'm going to say the whole system. Some shirts work, some shirts don't. At the time, ours did not. Dean didn't have one. Mine didn't get in. Chris had one because he had an old shirt that has rips in it that actually worked with the system, but we thought that mine might work a little bit. It did not work at all. So
despite testing it all at home and stuff,
but we sprayed, like we tested the system and we were like, may not work at all. So I got in and I can normally work without a cool shirt. It's not usually a problem, but halfway, I'm going to say more than halfway, but at least halfway through my stint, I start feeling pretty bad. And I am, I've done double the time that I did before. I did not drink too much the night before. I hydrated. I was pretty good to go. And I really didn't feel well. And so we kept getting a lot of, yellows. And actually we're talking to Towelie, and Amanda's in Towelie, and she doesn't have a cool shirt either. So she is going off the rails on how much she doesn't have a cool shirt and how terrible it is and try to reset the system, blah, blah, blah. So she's saying how bad it is. And I was like, yep, also don't have a cool shirt. But I don't have a whole lot of air. I'm trying to drink some water and I'm getting really lightheaded and I'm getting like sick. And I'm just saying, like, I have half a tank. I now still have a quarter of a tank, which means I can go for a while. And I got to get out. I'm like not great. So I say, you ready to go, Chris? Hi. Can I get out now?
I said 15 more minutes and we're in our window.
I said, okay, fine. I can make it for 15 more minutes. But this is the kind of stuff where we on this podcast say you should be possibly getting out of the car when you are at conditions where you are questioning if you should still be in the car. So I also think that my headphone might have fallen out of my ear and maybe think that the car, what? Nope.
Wasn't that.
It wasn't that. I just said, well, maybe it's a little louder, but maybe it's just like that other car that's around, or, it's kind of like sounds kind of like bouncing off the car. So I'm like, maybe it's just, it's probably not me, but I'm sure it's fine. The car's running fine. I'm running fast. It's not a big deal. So finally, Chris says, okay, fine, get out of the car. And so I said, okay.
Well, then it was time. Got Chrissy out. Car was in 5th overall. I get it. We had a nice clean pit stop. I hop in. As soon as I start the car, I go, oh no, the exhaust is blown apart again. Anyway, I drive off, see how bad it is. It's definitely blown apart. It's a 95% chance it's at the flex pipe where it blew apart at New Hampshire last year, where the same exact thing. I get in the car after Chrissy, the exhaust is blown apart. Except that time it was the end of the stint on Sunday and I was leading the class. And I led the class until 10 minutes before the end, when the car couldn't get up the hill at New Hampshire because of it, because it kept getting worse. And that's when I said, this is unsafe. And I called it. This time I'm out there for maybe 15 minutes. My feet are on fire. It's so hot in the footwell, even though I turned the fan on. And I know there's fuel lines not far away from this. And my temperatures are going up because the end of the temps are high. And I said, this is unsafe. So we stopped. Unsafe. The car was still driving fine. Just we knew unsafe. So stopped, let it cool off a little bit, get under the car. And sure enough, it was the flex joint in the exhaust, that one that came with the header I bought. And this is not like an Amazon special header. This is an actual proper header to replace the stock catalytic converter close coupled manifold thing. And yeah, blown apart, melted on the inside.
Melted on the
Terrible.
inside. So all the inside parts were
just falling off, melted out.
Yes, where they were
Terrible.
like coming through the actual pipe, the piping.
Yeah, it was bad. So take it all apart, get ready. Dean goes to the parts store to get another flex joint and some other pipes. We talk about how to put it back together differently, moving the flex joint to further away in the system where it's down in the airflow under the car. So less heat from the manifold, which that's the problem. Both times we basically melted the flex joints from the heat from the manifolds, from the exhaust. So if we have it further away, the exhaust will cool down a little bit. And if it's in the airflow under the car, it should cool off more. So this is all going. Dean went to the parts store. He comes back right as he does is when I'm about to get in the Cressida. So we have a brief conversation about how to fix this. I say, sorry, got to go. And then Dean and Chrissy worked on the car. I hopped in the Cressida. I drove 2.5 hours. The Cressida is what Cressida is. It is not the fastest car, but it handles so beautifully. It is totally neutral. It'll do whatever you want it to do. It's nice about it.
Sounds great.
It does. It sounds great. It's a great car. I found that I don't fit, the seat doesn't fit me very well with my Stilo, because the Stilos are enormous. It's like a beach ball on your head. It has its own weather system. And because of that, the first time I've driven the car with the Stilo, it's pushing my head forward the whole time I'm driving, to the point where if I want to look in the mirror, I have to lift my helmet up with my hand.
Oh, wow.
I didn't. Well, yeah.
That's a difficult way to drive a race car.
It is. Fortunately, what's behind you is not important, and the Cressida is pretty easy to drive.
Usually, sometimes on the side, it's a little important.
Well, the side mirrors I could see, and I also had like a cat hair or something in my helmet.
Oh my gosh, we watched your video,
like,
and he's just like,
time. Yeah. Yeah.
I
terrible.
love that management level thing of, okay, well, here's how to fix the race car. I'm going to go have some fun. So you guys let me know if you have any problems.
We did okay. We didn't ask any questions. No, we got the parts.
Dean knows how to do this stuff and then put it all back together. And when I came back in, Dean pulled up the race car next to me. I was like, "Oh, well, isn't that great? He got out for the last half hour of the day."
He wasn't going to, and I was like, well, "We're almost done," and we had 45 minutes. And I was like, "Go get dressed. I'll put the wheels on. Let's go." And he got back out for another half an hour. Okay, let's do it.
Yep.
While I'm recovering from carbon monoxide poisoning, just saying.
True. I also got a flag, and I will say it was a BS flag. I can tell you why, but I'm not going to complain about it, because the number of times
I watched the video, and as much as I want to mock you, you are right.
I don't think it was that one, Mental. I'll tell you when I think it was, because that one, it wasn't out until I was there. And I will accept this, because the number of times that I have probably gotten away with something and not gotten a flag compared to the times that I've gotten a flag I didn't deserve, I'm probably ahead of the game. But I come around turn 10, which is a right-hander, next to another car, right next to it. As we come through the corner, we come through that and look at the flag station right ahead of us at 411, and pulls the flag out. We both let off, and we're still next to each other. We both start to brake, still next to each other. He then brakes harder, and I am in front then. And I say, damn it. They're going to call that as a passenger yellow. Like we both saw the flag. We both acknowledged it. We were both trying to do the right thing. And we knew that there's a hill coming up. We got to get in line around there. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So anyway, I came in, I pled my case to Manny about it, saying I knew exactly what it is. It's this, I know where it was, I know why it happened, and it's bogus, and I should get back out. And I did.
And Manny's level of give an F is, I'm just gonna let you keep talking.
He did. He let me tell my story, and then Mary told him, yeah, it was a passenger yellow. It was over there. It was possible. And they're like, oh, it's the first thing for this car of the day. So okay, fine, just go. And I did. I think Cressi was 11th overall at the end of the day after that, unfortunately.
Yep.
So then Saturday night, we didn't have much to do with the Mazda. We already had given it a once over. I think we washed the windows. That's about it. The car doesn't even use any oil. Still haven't put any in it now. It's fine.
Yay.
Yep. It's good. So then Chrissy, we had a potluck.
Yeah, good potluck. Just enough food. So if you're out there, consider bringing something else or something. But we had a good amount of dessert. That was good. Just enough amount of actual food. Did a really good job of cleanup. So that was awesome. Most people came right back for the stuff that they had a really, I don't remember what team it was, but they had a beautiful paella on one of those big, like, cast iron skillets that you put on top of a grill. It was awesome sauce. I don't even know if you got any of that, Chris. I think I don't know where you were, but it was delicious. I was cleaning up and they brought it over. So, yeah, so that was pretty good. So potluck was great. We had a nice time, good food, good cleanup. It was great. I decided that I didn't feel like doing all of the dishes, so I went out with Kim and Christy, and we went out on a golf cart, and we went to the upper, what do we call that? The upper 50, whatever, the far away paddocks.
The other half lives.
Yes, not the garage. Go on an expedition and stop and talk to people, and their interest was slapping butts. I'm not sure why, but I don't ask. So I went on the expedition with them. And then we had no lights, and it's very dark when you leave the garage area. So Chris was our pool boy and got us drinks and lights and anything we asked. So he was on Scooty. We were on the...
Hey, if I can keep Chrissy and Kim happy at the same time,
all is well.
That is worth my while.
Yep. So we went and drove around and talked to some people, teams that were still sitting around. Then there's a bonfire, which is sponsored by the track, which is great. So we went up there for a while, and it was very quiet. And then somebody was playing music, probably out of like a tiny speaker, that was not good music. So we said, Chris, go get the race car, because we have a stereo. The problem is that the stereo only plays Journey.
That's not a problem. So, that is a feature.
It is fine until Chris brings up the car. And Steve brought up Scooty, so you could take Scooty.
And
I was
gonna drive him back with Scooty, and then he walked home before I could find him.
Right.
Again.
So he left the race car there. So the race car became my problem. We played Journey for a while until there was a actual mutiny where people stormed our car and turned off Journey because they said no more Journey, and then they played their crap, and then we left. So then I had to drive the race car back, and that's about it, I think.
There was hot tub, there was bounce off the trampoline of the hot tub time. There was the usual shenanigans, but we weren't up till
knowing the car
too late.
Knowing the car doesn't need a lot of work. It might be time for underglow and douche jams.
Well, so the lack of radio was our fault. It has a headphone jack. Our phones don't take headphone jacks. We only had an old iPhone that only had Journey on it. So that was poor planning
from our last
on our
race.
part.
Yeah.
So we can do better next time. We just didn't have the tools, and we
need one of those little adapters The
what
one
we
that's,
call
that's
weenie bits.
lightning to headphone. You know those adapters that came with. Yeah, we have them like,
well,
they're,
yeah,
like
'cause
littered
I
around.
Everywhere. They're
I keep like
everywhere.
4 in the Mercedes because they all like break after a few months.
So we have
Yeah.
them everywhere except for at the
Nice.
racetrack. So that was our problem. So anyway,
That's
ahead.
on a going all the way back to the beginning of the show. Chuck, the owner of the Porsche, is a music file, has a music room, loves vinyl. He's just a big, but he has no specific genre. And he's modified the 993 with an old actual iPod. And he asked me what I wanted on there. And I'm like, you pick. And so just on the drive back from Oakland to Las Vegas, I have like 9 songs that I had to Shazam and find out what they were, because it was just really great.
That deep?
Yeah, great
All
stuff.
right.
So there is
Okay.
something to still be said for vintage iPods.
Sure, as long as you have a way to load music to them and then play them on the thing that only has the headphone jack. So so Saturday was pretty uninteresting. I mean, it was fine. Normal party stuff. Didn't stay up all late. Nobody caught themselves on fire. Nobody went to the hospital. No police came. There's normal throw the dong in the pool. That's about it.
Yep.
Yeah. We've had a lot more interesting in different ways. Thompson races. So Sunday, we were leisurely. We sat around and drank coffee and talked to each other because there was nothing going on until noon. Yes.
So for those who may not know, because they have a Jesus hour, the solution at Thompson.
Jesus morning, actually.
Right.
It has nothing to do with Jesus, actually.
Yeah. They don't allow you to even start a race car before noon. And like, we got fussed at about a golf cart once, didn't we?
They're pretty adamant. They're pretty adamant about.
They are.
You have to push your cars. You push the car to the line.
I'm guessing because they got, ripped about something.
No, it's a state law that you can't
law.
start a race car until noon.
That's why it's not Jesus on
wow,
this. I think in the South there are some places, but
yeah. But so the point, and that's why this is the source of their disappointment, because normally the Saturday party is usually pretty off the chain because nobody has to function until noon.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fine. We sat around, we slept in, everybody slept in. We started cleaning a little bit, like we're putting stuff away. Yeah, but the problem is that we have a semi-long day. It's 12 to 5, which is a little bit later than most of us like to end racing. And then you have, cleanup and then awards and then leave. And we had the longest drive. So that's why we were pretty adamant on trying to get out of there as soon as we could after racing. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, we all drove. Dean started off because he had to leave early. Drove clean, drove well, had fun. Cool shirt didn't work, even though we replaced the pump. Something about cool shirt brand shirts do not work in our system. My fast brand shirt works better. I'm going to work on that before the next race because it's worked fine for the last 2 years. Last 2 years, this has worked fine, basically, except for as a leak up in the
because
front.
I drove it in New Jersey and New Hampshire. I drove it in New Hampshire. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it's not before all y'all are yelling at your radios, it's not something stuck in the pump, because we do not run like milk jugs that might have a milk label that got sucked into the pump. We only run blocks of ice that don't have anything on them, no bags, no nothing. So
and
it's
there's
not something
filters
stuck in
before
there.
the pump.
It's not, and we've changed out the pump, and there's a
blown the lines clear,
this is like
blown
the
the shirts clear.
evolution of the cool shirt system, because you've now gone with an external pump and swappable coolers.
Yes, correct.
And we tried a different pump. Again,
and multiple
the lines
coolers,
have blown through. The lines are nice.
Shirts.
Lots of room in the lines.
And it happened with Dean's shirt. So it wasn't
also a cool
Dean's shirt
brand.
Also a cool shirt. So it's not just Chris and I, and because we always use this system, he's brand new to the system, shows up with a cool shirt and can't make it work.
The pump goes to full pressure and stops because it's like an RV, RV water pump, that you use like to power your faucet. So it gets up to a certain amount of pressure and shuts off because, that's all the pressure I want to have. And that's good. We don't want too much pressure going through this. There should be like no pressure in these systems because it's a very simple system. There's no restriction really in it. but it's coming up to pressure on the Couche-Tard brands. And when I was doing it at home and testing it, I could feel the shirts actually like puff up, that they were pressurized.
And when I
And-
pushed one down, it shot across the parking lot. Like it had that much pressure in it. Like normally it just kind of like pees out the side, right? Like it doesn't usually do that. Mine shot out the side.
So,
But the
feels
Fast brand
maybe
shirt I
the,
have is fine.
Connectors aren't pushing the little thing down far enough.
We
But
tried.
it's getting enough water. Like at some point I
took the
had 30
connectors
seconds
off
of
of
it.
Chrissy's. Yeah, I took the connectors off of Chrissy's at home and put air through it. And the Couche-Tard ones have a significantly more restriction through the system than the Fast shirts for some reason. And it was
okay.
inconsistent too, which is even weirder.
Like at some
And-
point I like moved around. I did a little dance, which is what I'm doing. You can't see me. And so I moved it and then I could feel some in my back and was like, oh, cool. I've got it. And then it went away. I never got it again.
Yep.
So all y'all out in Radio Land, if anybody's got any ideas for cool suits that you think that we
I
may
think we're
not
just
have
going to
come
do
up
a
with.
different pump and see what I can do there. Anyway.
Sure, but maybe
So
somebody has an idea.
Yeah, we cleaned up, we drove, we watched Towelie do well. I helped Cressida with a stop, helped Towelie with a stop. That was the perfect pit stop ever. It was one of those, Paul was coming down. He was on like 1/8 of a tank, coming down like out of the bowl when the double yellow flies. So he came right in. We were ready. We had a good crew. Everyone had to do their job. Exactly 3 cans was overfilled it by about 2 ounces. So it was perfect.
But you had a guy that was, because they have kind of a different setup that's in the back of the car. You had somebody who was putting the guiding everything right into the
one guy was the young guy he was working to guide it right in the hole. But Greg, it was basically I did the first one. Greg was next to me with the next one, put that right. We just 3 right in a row. I got Bruce in the car. Bruce went up to Dale. As Dale released Bruce, the green flag came out. It was perfect. It was ultra fast stop. We were super excited with that.
Very nice.
Yeah. So we watched them win, and I was out at the end, which is great. One point I slowed down. Oh, Chrissy, go ahead. Tell us about your stint.
I just want to say that Towelie, oh no, my stint was fine. Whatever. It was fine. Towelie did not blast away. They did not win overall the whole race. Most of Saturday, they were racing with multiple teams. They were in second multiple times. So this was not just a runaway for Towelie, but it was everybody was on edge, and it had to be a perfect race for them. So they lost a couple. So their teammates, as it does at some races, the people that they were racing against had issues. Somebody came off with a exhaust, somebody else broke down, but we would it was one of those where they were flopping back and forth 15 seconds 30 seconds away from each other. So this was not a runaway. So I just want to make sure that the whole story of that. It's not just that Towelie wins and they're great and they always win. This was a hard fought race.
It was. Yep. But they made
I would
mistakes
argue anyone that says
well.
Towelie always wins has never been at New Hampshire at 9:05 on a Sunday morning when Towelie's still sitting on jack stands and the green flags dropped and someone stumbles out of the RV. And
without Darren, they actually put wheels on the car the night before and put it on the ground. Darren is the one that insists on, you got to let the suspension settle.
Also, this was the race that Greg drank more than he has in a very long time on Thursday. Weren't they the drunkest
they were up
people
till 4
on Friday?
in the morning on Thursday.
He was still went to bed drinking a beer on Thursday. So
right.
I think
that's why they didn't test on Friday. They needed to recover.
We didn't see them till 2 p.m. Somebody's like, Greg, got to get up. It's like dinner time. And he's like, wait, standard.
What? Yeah.
Well, this one was worse. And he admitted it. This was not his finest moment. So I'm pretty sure that's why everybody on that team did a little bit better. Of course, if they were winning, then they don't drink as much and they're pretty even keeled because they want to stay with it. So I just want to make sure that you know the whole story if you weren't watching it on Race Monitor.
Yep. I would have. I spent the Saturday driving back. I'd be sitting in there putting gas in the car. Oh, yeah. But then by that time the Saturday was done, and then Sunday, you guys are racing while Vicky and I are still asleep, and we have our Sunday morning date. So
yep. At the end of the day, Sunday, we were out there. I was on the opposite side of the track from where Towelie and the Cressida were both together. And so eventually I just slowed down and let them catch up.
I was horrified. We're standing there, was 3 laps left. And I was like, oh no, my car is broken. I was like, he just pulled a 245. And I'm like, what?
Wasn't that bad, but
It was. Honest to God, it was. It was 242. Like, it was bad.
no way.
It was,
I was
absolutely. Go look at it.
It
I
was
said it
definitely
to
not a 242.
I said it to Greg. I was like, there is something. You're gonna look. I
yeah.
swear it was you. I was like, there is something wrong. I think it was a 242. And it was and then they were like, oh no, they're trying to line up. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. So anyway, let's finish the story. You can look it up and tell me I'm wrong later. It's fine.
Whatever. Yeah, lined up so that the three of us would go 1, 2, 3 as Bruce crossed the line. Wanted to be supportive of Bruce getting back in the car and doing a great job. So yep. Yeah, Chrissy, it was a 147 is the slowest I had. I was string of 130s.
Okay, I'm sorry. You just told me 142 is wrong.
No, you said 245.
Oh
you
no,
said 242.
Oh no, I meant 142.
I was like, there's no way I did it almost 3-minute lap. That's why I said
no. I said one. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I meant 142 is the word.
Okay, yes.
No,
yes.
no,
I had a
no,
145, a
142.
147, then back to a 141, then back
When
to
you
130s.
go from like 130s to 140s, that's what my concern was.
I backed off like 15
Not
seconds
you.
a lap
I
to let them catch
apologize.
up, and we're all
See,
right.
look, you told me I was wrong, and I said okay. Anyway, Sunday, yeah,
Racing with family. That episode. Go back.
or spouses or
Yep.
whatever we are. Okay, so yes, so we raced, we finished, Tally won. Yeah, so we think that Cressida might have done a little bit better, except for your flag. And
Yep, Cressida was 7th, might have gotten up to 5th if without the flag, probably 6th
Oh
realistically.
wait, it finished. I had 11th overall. Finished 7th.
7th.
yes,
Whoa!
correct.
Wow, that is
It
fantastic.
did Cressida things, and it just kept driving. That's good fuel economy. Decent
We would
tank.
have been right in the middle of there.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, Mazda.
and likely would have taken B.
Yeah.
If B came in 14th or 17th, they were somewhere in between there.
We would have been solidly top 10.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
So next,
The only
next time.
problem is that eventually
time.
you will win B, and you know what happens when you win B. That's the problem.
And we go get the Civic.
Yep.
That's what.
Yep.
Fair. All right.
Fair.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what
So
we're waiting for.
overall feelings on the weekend.
It was a good, happy, productive, no real, just nice weekend. And I wish we could have been successful, but the potential we showed was phenomenal. Wonderful, wonderfully happy for our team that did very well. It was great to have Dean. It was a nice, great working team. So wonderful time.
Agreed. Yep.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not going to do just the tip, but we have from the
We have it on the spot.
podcast.
We have an on the spot from Bill. Bill said, I want it on the spot. So, all right, here we go. So here's what he says. I was looking for a new to newish daily driver for Vicky. Needs to be a manual transmission for daily practice, decent space for family, but not required to fit a dog the size of Zoe, which if you've not met Zoe, Zoe is massive. She's the biggest wimp, but she is enormous. Fun for HPDE, a bonus. Potential to eventually become
cars.
Potential. Well, HPDE just easy in a street car is nice sometimes. Potential to eventually become a track car and live out its final years in the best way, which is a wonderful way to retire it. Budget 50 to 60, lower the better. So I'll go first because I've had this before and I was able to think about it a little bit.
That's not fair. It's not on the spot for you.
I know, but it is for you guys. Well, how else am I going to do it? He's going to have to tell one of us.
He's building us some time in here.
Fine,
yes.
Right.
fine.
That's why I'm doing it. So my suggestion is whatever strength of Acura Integra you would prefer. They are, they've got the normal A-spec, 200 horsepower, turbo, 6-speed, manual, limited slip. It's a Civic Si that's nicer inside and a hatchback. Great. It has enough room for the kids in the back, has room for stuff. I bet Zoe could fit in the hatchback with the seats folded down. It's reliable. It's fun to drive, can do an HPDE. Or if you want to go crazy, you go for the new Integra Type S, which is a Civic Type R that's a little nicer. So it's berserk fast, but everyone, all the magazines say
they sound so good.
Yeah. All the car rags say imagine a Civic Type R that's actually like comfortable to drive every day and it's nice inside.
And
So
I
both of
think the
these can be had
Integras
within
have
that budget.
Yeah, the exhaust programming sounds way better.
Yep. And it's going to be reliable. It's going to work. It's going to be fun. It's going to check every single one of those boxes. That would be my suggestion. Whichever flavor you wanted, depending on if you wanted to spend that extra chunk of money for the Type S. If you can get one right now, actually, is the hard part.
Valid.
Okay,
I'm
who's
not
next?
sure there's another manual fun to drive sedan out there.
Hatch, no, has to be sedan.
No, it can be anything. It's
Just
room
something
for the
you can throw
family,
a dog in. Yeah.
but not a 2-seater.
Yes.
So that's why I was gonna say they have an Indeed. That's a great car.
Yeah, but she wants something a little bigger for her. That's fine.
The dog barely fits in its passenger seat if it does.
Right. Well, see, Bill said doesn't need to fit Zoe. Needs to have
Sure.
enough room to put, adult-sized children in the back because the kids are adults actually now. So
I gotta put somebody in the back seat.
yeah.
They all have cars.
Yeah. So, but sometimes they go together, go places together. Families do that kind of thing,
Well, then they take one of their other 50 cars.
Well, just pick something. This isn't argue with Bill about the parameters he gave. Pick
Okay,
a
fine. I'll
car.
go. All right. So my thoughts
Doesn't have to be
were-
brand new or new-ish. So it can be a couple
my-
years old even too.
thoughts were all the things that they think Mazda 3. There are things that I didn't like about it, but doesn't sound like their parameters or problems for the things that I wasn't crazy about.
I would say Mazda
And
Speed
then-
3 with the money he's got. Yeah.
Sure. Yes. Right.
Oh,
Yes.
They don't make those anymore, and haven't made them for a long time. He wants
swap.
to do newish.
They can do swaps. They're good at stuff like
No.
that.
Daily driver. No.
Mazda
Okay.
3.
All right.
And a Type R without the big wing, because I feel like Vicky is not really big wing type.
I do
Mental,
have
your
something.
turn.
It took me a second because I was gonna say, the only really other thing that falls in there that ticks all those boxes is a WRX, and I feel like with Vicky's gorgeous hair, a flat brimmed hat is just gonna look stupid.
She
That's
doesn't
true.
vape either, so I feel like
Exactly.
it doesn't really fit her.
so-
And the new WRXs are straight up ugly.
They really
Like,
are.
Yeah.
Elantra R spec.
Or N?
I'm sorry, because they don't make Jeff's car anymore.
Right.
But they do make it as a sedan, and
Yeah.
it can be docile and fun. It can be had with a manual, and then you can push the button and it gets the burble exhaust. They
It's
can
300 horsepower. Yeah.
right, quite luxurious. And
But the back seat is dismal.
No, it's an Elantra, not Jeff's car.
Not Jeff's car. Okay, not the Blaster.
right, this is
Okay.
the
sedan.
4-seater, the 4-door.
Got it.
But it's mechanically it's Jeff's
identical.
car. Just
Got
a
it.
little bit
Okay, I was
longer, and
thinking
it's
of
got-
the Blaster, but I didn't realize
Yeah.
I forgot that they had something.
and it's got
that's-
all the same styling, and it's I am still surprised. I knew I would like Jeff's car when I drove it. I was surprised how much I liked it. And if I lived in an area where the weather was questionable, I would not have a Miata. I would probably have one of those.
The other two ones I've thought of as I've had a little more time to think about this were,
Thank you.
if you're not going to own it for very long, a Golf R would work for that because plenty of room, plenty of power, works for all those things. But Volkswagen reliability is a problem. It's
Mhm.
Especially when
always
you start
going to be
modifying
bad.
them, they get
Right.
pricey.
The other one I thought of was we have to be lightly used, a Cadillac CT4V Blackwing, which is manual.
Ooh.
All the car rags say better than an
Oh.
M3. Actually better than an M3.
And I'll throw an additional one there. You can get the ATS V Blackwing in a manual. It's not the 5-liter. It's not the LS. It's the turbo.
That's the CT4 is the current one. That is the
Okay.
twin turbo V6.
Okay, that's
The ATS you're thinking of was a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder from the truck that they had separately. The CT4 though is the hot one.
yeah.
like-
I
or the-
coached a client at Button Willow who had a manual one of those, and I was surprised at the usability and still the power
it
that car could
huge,
put
though?
down.
No,
No,
it's like 3 series size. It's
Okay.
the CT6, which is the 5 series sized one that
Okay.
has the supercharged LS.
Mhm.
That's bonkers.
Huge.
This is
Yeah.
right. This is 3 Series sized.
Got it.
Only 400 horsepower from the twin turbo V6. But again, every review on it
And
this is better than an M3.
Yeah, and you're going to have to go onto one of the Carvana or one of those websites that has a huge inventory and be very specific about the transmission, because they are rarer than hen's teeth. And it's not because they're using anything exotic; it's just because nobody ordered them that way.
Right. Right.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, I like that one.
I still think Vicky's probably a more of an Elantra in, but that is a great car.
All right, there you go.
Good
Bill.
question. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yep.
Bill.
I like the on
All
spot.
right. And if you've got anything like that you want to talk to us about, you know how to get a hold of us, all of our social medias. I would appreciate it if Brett, maybe you ask you a question instead of sending me mocking Mercedes Formula One videos.
We didn't. Well, nobody asked a question. I guess we're not even talking about it. We don't know what we're going to do next week, but I'm sure we'll come back with something fantastic.
Yeah, or lame, whatever. What
Sometimes it's lame.
sometimes it is lame.
Sometimes it's
so
lame.
This is from our friend BA Auto Repair, and this is Mercedes F1 fans in the early 2000s, and then Mercedes fans now, and it's
yeah, it's a sad video.
Yeah, our the guy from the Barbie movie, and then also in the Blade Runner when he's beat up and depressed.
Oh well, sorry.
Okay, we were waiting. We are trying to kill time for you, buddy.
I know you're stalling, and the one speaker wouldn't connect, and now I'm trying to connect to the other one, and I think
I bet it'll connect to mine.
It already did connect to yours.
Good.
Bose loves your phone.
I know it.
Yeah.
Me too.
No. Okay, good. This one.
Oh my God. Come on.
There we go. We are super professional. Hey, thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. Hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, despite my terrible work on the speaker, hey, subscribe. It's totally free, and you know why. Go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, please. Even if you hated us because we did a terrible job, 5 stars, and tell us why, and I guarantee you we will read that and out loud to everyone. If you have any questions or show ideas, we're all over the place, either Everyone Racers or Everyone.Racers. Text Mental 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram, X, all those terrible places.
Yeah, actually, we haven't been on X since he changed it. I don't know. I'm not down.
Screw those guys. Whatever. Anyway, thanks
YouTube,
again.
we love. Facebook, we're down. Yeah. IG, all over it.
Yep. Anyway, keep the shiny side up unless your exhaust fails and you have carbon monoxide poisoning, and then you don't even know which side is shiny. So just keep the wheels down.